Hello traders, Gary Wagner here, just after 10:15 in Honolulu, 4:15 in New York. It is Wednesday, 21st day of September, 2016, and this is Trending Markets. FOMC meeting concludes today. Statements come out and a answer and question session by Janet Yellen. In essence, interest rates are going to remain steady. There will be no interest rate hike, at least in September. The net result, pretty much across the board, higher markets, sharply higher markets, in fact. First, Dow Jones Industrial Average closing up almost a full percentage points, 0.9% at 18,293, putting it up about 163 points on the day. When we take a look at our dollar index, you can see that as expected, the dollar did come under pressure off about 0.5% at 95.55. And then when we start to look at some of the indexes, such as the S&P, up over 1%, 2163.11, up 23 points. And then also a NASDAQ, if we can find that, pull that up over 8% at 48.50. Lastly, and most interestingly, crude oil, quite a big jump, up 3.5% at 154. Let's take a look at our first chart. So traders, as I mentioned, the announcement by the FOMC that interest rates would remain stable put a fire under traders in U.S. equities markets, propelling them higher, up about 1% across the board, 0.9% in the Dow Jones Industrial. We can see the single candlestick. It's quite impressive as this market moved up, but it's moved to a real level of some, I believe, very, very minor resistance. And of course, we are so close to these record tops here that it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a rally get underway with the accommodative behavior of not only the FOMC, meaning the Federal Open Market Committee, the Federal Reserve, but the Bank of Japan now stepping into the mix. So that really created stocks overseas having a nice bounce. Of course, S&P futures had a nice potential bounce in the market. Those opened up solid. Announcement came out, no interest rate hike, and then we saw this market really take off. Now, to give you a real idea of what we saw in the markets today, take a look at the chart that I've just pulled up. It is a 30-minute chart, and the actual date, 21st, begins right here. So you can see that futures, they opened firmer, actually traded lower as we went into overseas trading. The announcement comes out. It's probably going to be this candle right here where the announcement came out, because we had that huge spike up and then down. But you can see that it was then a steady move to higher territory, closing near the highs on the day at 2163, 23-point gain, putting it up about a full percent on the day. Now, of all the markets that we follow, the most interesting activity, and this, of course, is today's activity, is crude oil. And it is interesting in that we have a true gap in the market. Now, on gaps, I actually absolutely look at the highs and the lows, because those are points that that commodity traded through that price, so to speak. But here we've got a real void, which means that at some point it will come back to fill that. Now, we've had much greater rises than a 3.5% rise. We've had 4, 5, 6% rises that I can recall. Actually, I can recall an 8% rise. However, I do not recall many gaps in the market. As you look, you can see that these are pretty much filling in between all of that. Now, you have somewhat of a gap here, but again, this is not a true gap right here, because the price of the low of this candle goes into the high of this candle. As you can see, here we actually do have a true price gap, something we'll want to talk about in the days ahead. Traders, as I said, almost every market that we looked at was up today, with the exception of the U.S. dollar, obviously trading lower with the expectation that interest rates are going to remain quite low and stay the same at least through this month until November. probably December. As we look at this chart, this is a half a day standard candlestick chart. You can see the extreme high that we got in trading, very, very tight range up until the announcement, and then this market just came down, lost a lot of value, closing at 95.50. This has been Gary Wagner, wishing you, as always, good trading. We'll talk to you tomorrow for another daily update and review. Bye-bye.